and come up against an Old Kingston Rovers side that haven't conceded a point here in the last 2 matches. They defeated Hull 8-0 in the Humberside derby, and of course last week they had that first round Silk Cut Challenge Cup win over our near neighbours Bramley. I'll run through the teams for you today. Alan Tate from the Scottish Rugby Union International lines up at fullback. Jim Fallon is welcome back to Leeds on the right wing. Kevin Iro and Craig Innes make a pair of New Zealand centres with Simon Irving on the left wing. Change at half-back today, no Gary Schofield, so Andy Gregory switches to 6 and Gareth Stephens comes in at scrum half. Steve Malloy, James Lowes and Paul Anderson make up a big front three, with Paul Dixon and Gary Mercer in the second row, and Larry Hanley. So loose forward, there's a recall for Vince Foss at a substitute, and Mike O'Neill drops back from number 8 to substitute. We'll no doubt be seeing him at some part of the game. And Old Kingston Rovers there line up with their leading point scorer, Mike Fletcher. Mike Bibby is at number 2, Australian David Lydiard, and Rob Hutchinson from Halifax are the centres, and Julian Barcutt is the left winger. No Bright Sodgy today. Dean Clark, Australian halfback, and Wayne Parker keeps the jersey he wore last week, keeping Gary Chatfield on the bench. Richard Chamberlain, Wayne Jackson, Craig O'Brien the front three, Paul Fletcher, Andy Thompson and Paul Speckman, and that's a good mobile back three there from Old Kingston Rovers. Gary Chatfield, Chris Harrison are the substitutes, and the referee for the day is Russell Smith of Castleford. And we should see some more kicking from Alan Tate than we normally do in the course of the usual games. So that's immediately out for Speckman, and Hanley and Stephens up quickly there. Speckman pinned down 10 metres from his own line. That's good tackling from Leeds. Thompson, that felt the full weight of the tackle. Hutchison there, that's a good tackle from the left wing combination of Craig Innes and Simon Irving. And ball's out there for Mike Fletcher, the full back. Been a great servant for Old Kingston Rovers. And that ball back for the last tackle. And Alan Tate will feel this ball just inside his own half, makes the 10 metres before he's brought down. And Leeds will attack now with Gary Mercer. Slips the first tackle there with consummate ease. It's good running from the second row. Low, spots a gap, goes to match in half. Leeds form picked up so much that players in virtually every positions in the Open Rugby form ratings. Hanley switches play there, just slipped on the greasy surface. Using the short side with Gary Mercer. Steve Malloy. Oh, that's good tackling from Rovers. Rovers are up to the last tackle. Gregory hoists up the bomb, and Leeds will chase, but and that's a try there. In fact, that's a double movement, says the referee. Ellery Hanley not claiming that he wasn't tackled. So a mix up there in the Rovers defence, two players bumping into each other. And referee Russell Smith had waved 6 more tackles, and Ellery Hanley claiming that he hadn't been tackled and had picked up the loose ball. But the referee's given a scrum, so it'll be head and ball to Old Kingston Rovers. So that was a good up and under from Andy Gregory, just hung in the wind as always, just fairly strong wind here, blowing from right to left off the sea. And David Lydiard, the centre, he's been around the rugby league scene. He's played in this country with Oldham and Hull, and he has played for Manly and Parramatta in Australia. Back over here now. He was cut at Hull to make way for Greg Mackey. So the players held up while Mike Fletcher is being attended to. And Russ Smith just explaining to Ellery Hanley why he disallowed the try. The scrum is out to Ulkaya. And Hanley and Gregory quickly in there. Well, that ball couldn't have been played properly, just dropped on the floor and rolled between her legs. Craig O'Brien just makes a yardage. Lydiard showing that ball, and clever play from Craig Innes. Good defensive play for Craig Innes. There was probably a time last season where he'd have bought that dummy, and that shows you how much he's improved in the last few months. Gary Schofield describing him as the best centre in the world at the moment. He's certainly in the top half dozen or so. So Leeds again with Alan Tate, and Tate will make ground there. That's good running from Alan Tate. Oh, shows the ball, he's away, Alan Tate. Oh, and a good tackle coming in there from Wayne Parker. And interfering with that to play the ball. Stephens at first receiver, finds Andy Gregory. And that's put Steve Malloy on the charge, and a good tackle there from Craig O'Brien. Dixon. Going straight at Paul Speckman then. Stephens again with the run around with Gregory. Hanley. Oh, good spot tackle on Ellery Hanley, but he gets the ball away to Alan Tate. Tate's got space. And he's looking to put that ball in field with Simon Irving. Tate again now. Likes the bomb and will chase that himself, but that's going for Mike Fletcher to catch. Over his own try line in goal area, so that'll be a tap on the 20-metre line. So far, Old Kingston Rovers not able to break out of their own territory. Craig O'Brien, oh, that's a good tackle from Paul Anderson, his opposite number. Paul Fletcher there, tackled by Gary Mercer. Good tackling from Mercer on Fletcher. Wayne Parker. Speckman straightens play out there and straight at Paul Dixon. Dixon bringing him down. Rovers still penned deep in their own territory, and the kick comes in now from Parker, and Alan Tate will have to scurry back for this one. 10 metres inside from his own try line. So Simon Irving will drive this ball out for Leeds. Oh, and good play from Irving there. Took the tackle and then offloaded that ball. Hanley shows the ball, goes himself. It's for Paul Anderson, and Anderson looking to offload, but Steve Malloy. Leeds at 6s and 7s there at the play the ball. This will be for Andy Gregory for the kick. Kicking for the corners, kicking for space there. The space between Mike Fletcher and Julian Barkworth, and it's Barkworth who picks it up, shows the ball to Fletcher, comes himself, but only as far as Gary Mercer and Gareth Stephens. Eight minutes gone then, still the score 0-0, but Leeds have had that try disallowed for a double movement. Simon Irving and Craig Innes there in at the tackle. On number 8, Wayne Jackson. Dean Clark, and Dean Clark's well wrapped up there in the middle of the field. And a knock on at acting half-back. So the scrum will form then. First Leeds feed of the afternoon. Gareth Stephens it'll be. That ball's out to Leeds. Switching play with Kevin Iro. Gregory going on a dummy run. Iro shrugging off men there. This is going to be a try to Leeds, and Iro will be strong enough to go over on a pose there. Came in from the touchline side. Great try to Leeds. Straight from the scrum. We've seen that work several times already this season. Well, 9 minutes gone then, and Kevin Iro. Just watch that again on the replay as Leeds switch that ball from the scrum. Gregory goes on a dummy run, Iro comes in from the far side and has the strength and the pace to go over unopposed. So Simon Irving then has a chance to put Leeds 6 points up. Simon Irving takes his time, strikes that well and cleanly between, so it's 6 points to 0, Leeds in the lead. Well, Simon Irving it is then. And the Leeds have got a good support here today, 4 or 5 coaches, which is good support. Well, 9 minutes, 10 minutes gone now as Wayne Parker prepares to kick off. Gary Mercer just letting that ball bounce. And still enough time and pace to get midway between that 10-metre line and the 20 area. Anderson. Oh, that was good play there by Leeds. Anderson went on the dummy. Jim Fallon comes in from the far side. Oh, great running there from Paul Anderson. Tremendous running from Paul Anderson. Steve Malloy. Leeds making ground at every tackle now. Gregory picks his spot. Kicks over the top. That's going to bounce into touch. That's going to find touch just on the 10-metre line. Oh, great kick from Andy Gregory and a good set of 6 from Leeds there. That's made 90 metres instead of 6. And Rovers are the substitute coming on. Wayne Parker's going to come off and Gary Chatfield is going to come on the Lightning scrum half. That's one against the head there. Fat Russell Smith has disallowed that. Ball out to Rovers. Oh, that's good play there from Craig O'Brien, looking round to offload that ball, nobody in support. And Wayne Parker. I thought Wayne Parker was going to be substituted, but it looks like it's number 1. And a penalty there, the first of the game to Old Kingston Rovers, saying that Leeds had held him down. Gary Chatfield on for Mike Fletcher. Fletcher injured in that first skirmish. Oh, Chatfield immediately in kicking action. And puts Rovers really for the first time in possession on the attack in the Leeds half of the field. Barkworth. And a good tackling from Leeds. And Gus Smith just keeping watch and making sure that Leeds are onside, and Rovers playing some attractive football now. That's great play. But a good tackle again from this left wing, centre wing combination. Craig Innes and Simon Irving. Barkworth immediately, Chatfield should I say, immediately going to the first receiver position. Showing that ball. Jim Fallon and Kevin Iro wrapping him up to the last tackle. And Leeds, Mr. Smith telling him to get back on side. Oh, and a good play there from Gareth Stephens. Stuck that ball on the full. It's got to be 6 more tackles as Fallon back up. Well, Leeds penned down here at the moment, and that's good play from Old Kingston Rovers. Gary Mercer. And Leeds running forward with power, but not being able to break the Rovers' defence at the moment. 3 tackles gone and still in that 20-metre zone. Gregory shows the ball, looks to go himself. Puts Steve Malloy through the smallest of gaps there. Malloy back to Gregory, that's good play. Innes. And Innes takes a tackle sensibly there on the touchline side. Gregory finds James Laws, and Laws will just make his ground. Leeds back for Alan Tate to put the kick in. No, good play there from Wayne Parker. Soon sussed that out, that Alan Tate was going to be the Leeds kicker, and Lydiard picks up the kick. Tate under pressure as he kicked that ball. Well, 6 points to nil then, Leeds in the lead. Paul Fletcher brings play back towards his halfway line, just 10 metres inside his own half now. Jackson looking to go through there, and using that short side, Chatfield, flat pass out there. Rob Hutchison, I think, over on that far side of the field. In fact, it's Dean Clark. Difficult to see a long way away from the play here. Parker. Speckman finds Hutchison. Back for Speckman. Parker again. Oh, it's good football. Craig O'Brien. Leeds a stretch now on this side. Jackson. So Speckman then kicks. Finds touch. 20 metres outside the Leeds half of the field. It'll be head and ball to Leeds. The scrum. 14 minutes gone then. Leeds 6 points to nil in the lead. That first try from Kevin Iro, straight from the scrum. This their second scrum of the game. Brings Jim Fallon in from the wing, Andy Gregory. Fallon recovered now from the ankle injury he sustained at Warrington. Gregory spots the gap, goes himself from that in half-back. Gareth Stephens in support. That's good play from Leeds, and both the Leeds half-backs end up in the melee on the floor, but spotted well there, Andy Gregory. Hanley. Or Hanley will be looking for a try this afternoon. Scored in the last 7 or 8 matches for Leeds. Ball floated out there to Simon Irving, and Irving well brought down by Bibby. Innes looking for the break inside. Takes the tackle. Play just inside the Rovers half of the field. Gregory dodges and ducks and weaves his way out there. In fact, that's the ball back on the outside there of the Leeds cover, but Leeds bringing him down. Steve Malloy in at the tackle there. Chatfield bringing the runners on there with Craig O'Brien. In from acting half-back, that's good play. Leeds stretch now on this far side. 3 men in at the tackle. Bringing him down. Number 16, Clark, that's good play from Leeds. And we're up to the last tackle now. Chatfield spins up and under, and Simon Irving puts that down. Well, Leeds, they'll come up with a mistake this time in the 10-metre area. Simon Irving not able to keep control of that ball. So Leeds will have to tackle now as Rovers get a chance to put some pressure on deep in Leeds territory. Get Felix away. Parker. Coming inside there, Julian Barkworth, but Kevin Iro alert to that. Parker. Lydiard. Oh, back into place where the scrum was now with Chatfield running down there. Head down is for Chamberlain at Leeds. Chatfield. Andy Thompson, oh, and a good tackle from Andy Gregory. And that needed a good tackle as well for Leeds. Coming under some pressure now. O'Brien runs from dummy half, we're up to the last tackle, so you can expect a kick for the corner, and the Leeds defence will have to slide. In fact, Jim Fallon it is who knocks that ball dead behind his own line, so Leeds in all sorts of pressure there, but hanging on well at the end, and Alan Tate, I think it'll be who's going to drop out from under the post. "22 minutes gone then, Leeds 6, Wilkinson Rovers 0, and Leeds surviving a lot of Wilkinson Rovers pressure there as Alan Tate comes to drop out. That'll be for David Lydiard, and he takes that well, and he's got a long way to run before he'll meet the Leeds tacklers. He uses that space well there, makes it 20 metres or so. And again, Paul Fletcher using that short side, looking to offload there to Rob Hutchison. Came to Ulkingston Rovers in the deal that took Graham Hallis to Halifax. Anderson quickly in at the tackle, and Rovers just inching their way forward now. Craig O'Brien again. James Laws brings him down. The runner down there, Chatfield, Wayne Parker, showing the ball, going himself, running straight at Andy Gregory. So again, Leeds have saved 5 tackles. Oh, and Simon Irving did really well there, that ball bouncing awkwardly off his feet. Got back in time. Alan Tate will run the ball out. It just slips as he comes away there from David Lydiard. Mercer. So Hanley now. Running straight at the Rovers props, and the crowd loving him being driven back there. So Laws finds Andy Gregory. It's a long ball for Anderson. Anderson can't get the ball away to the supporting Craig Innes. Gareth Stephens finds Innes again. And I'm sure Leeds maybe not aware that that was the 6th tackle. Leeds not aware then that that was a 6th tackle. Penalty awarded there against Craig Innes, but Leeds were in some doubt there as to whether that was a 6th tackle. It'd be interesting to watch that one again. On the video, Mr. Smith did signal it, but it seemed to come fairly quickly. So Leeds, a good spell of pressure this from Ulkingston Rovers. And Craig O'Brien will drive that ball up all day. And kicking out in the tackle. Jackson. Well, good tackling from Leeds. That's a hard tackle there. Leeds stretched on that far side now. Parker looking for runners. Finds Mike Fletcher. And again, Rovers using the short side, Craig O'Brien. Oh, that's good play from Rovers now. Long ball out here. Oh, that's a try there. Andy Gregory annoyed with himself there, and Leeds put under pressure there, the sliding defence not coming over, got the ball away out of the tackle, and Rovers clawing 4 points back. That's good play there from Ulkingston Rovers. They've shown that they're not just here to make the number up today, lowly league position, find some good performances. So the tries to Bibby then. The Leeds line breaking out on this side after good work from Mike Fletcher in the middle of the field. And again, Leeds conceding the 3rd penalty of the game. It's a high tackle on number 10, Craig O'Brien, from Gary Mercer. Russ Smith used to having a word with Gary Mercer. So this will give Ulkingston Rovers a chance when Craig O'Brien's mended, as it were, to put some more pressure on Leeds. And Chatfield's going to kick. Andy Gregory just geeing the players up. Finds touch, not a good touch, but at least it's touch. Better to find touch than to try and kick the ball down the field. And Chris Harrison, James Laws makes the tackle. The Rovers moving the ball out there with Andy Thompson. He's brought down 10 metres inside his own half by Paul Dixon and Ellery Hanley. Craig O'Brien again. 2 good, big, strong running props this afternoon, Ulkingston Rovers. They've made ground every time they've had the ball. Parker. Lydiard now. Switching that ball inside to Rob Hutchison. Hutchison well wrapped up there by James Lowes. Simon Irvine hanging on there to Mike Bibby as the Leeds cover was coming across. Parker. Speckman will kick. Tate will pick up for Leeds. And Leeds first spell in possession for some time. Simon Irvine it is who comes in from the wing looking for work. Stephens using that short side Leeds with Paul Dixon. Andy Gregory goes himself, finds Mercer. Mercer, Iro now, just showing that ball, trying to shug men off, but that's good tackling from the Rovers. Clark, who's moving into the centre as Lydiard has gone to fullback. That's good tackling from Clark. Gareth Stephens goes himself. Up to the last tackle, no doubt. This time that this is the last tackle, James Lowes who puts the kick in. And that's fine, kick there from James Lowes. Kicking from back to half-back, never the most easiest of options, but Lowes executed that well there and will have head and ball at the scrum. Hull Kingston Rovers, that is, on the 10-metre line. The Rovers win the scrum. It's their fourth scrum of the afternoon. Chatfield. Zipping, dodging, weaving. Barkworth. Oh, good tackling from Leeds, pushing him towards that touchline. Chatfield again. Speckman. Lydiard linking up well from fullback. Craig Innes ramming him down. That's a great tackle. That's the best tackle we've seen this afternoon. Barkworth coming in. Might be that he's coming in from the wing. Parker with the kick. He'll kick down in that far touchline side where Leeds have no players. That's good kicking, intelligent kicking. Jim Fallon and Alan Tate back for it. Alan Tate is who picks up. Runs into numbers 12 and 9 from Hull Kingston Rovers. Andy Thompson and Richard Chamberlain. And Simon Irvine just... Oh, and Gregory's. Felices, that came off the knee, and you'll hear what the crowd think about that. Dixon. Oh, Dixon, that's good driving over the advantage line there. Steve Malloy. Gregory again. And just Gareth Stephens. James Lowes. So I think that's going to be heading ball to Rovers. That'll be the first scrum offence, and that'll be Hull Kingston Rovers and James Lowes, I think, complaining that the ball was reefed out of his arms. So just 12 metres inside the Rovers half of the field. And the Rovers winning their fifth scrum and bringing Rob Hutchison in on the wing. He's running at Alan Tate and Andy Gregory. Chatfield. Iro just going across there and assisting Fallon, and Leeds again under pressure as Rovers come strongly now. And that's a knock on. Ball certainly bouncing forward after he'd gone over the shoulder of the player. So Leeds have a chance. It's only their third heel of the afternoon if this one comes out. Gregory kicks downfield for Alan Tate. That was good thinking there from Julian Barkworth. He saw that the full back was not at home. That would have been a certain try to Leeds then, but for the quick thinking of the winger. Speckman again, running at Gareth Stephens. That ball must have gone forward. Well, that's unbelievable. Ball came at least 2 yards forward there before. Mercer in. It's good tackling from Gary Mercer. Rovers moving that ball out of the tackle. Parker, Speckman. Lydiard, a great tackle from Simon Irvine in a timely intervention as well. Paul Leeds was stretched there. Hutchison. That's a try to Old Kingston there, and Leeds stretched all at 6s and 7s. All Rovers taking the lead. After Hutchison kicked on. A good play there from Rovers. And number 16, Clark. It's Rovers in the lead. "33 minutes gone. So 2 tries against Leeds, who opened brightly, but have faded as this second half's gone on. First half's gone on, sorry, up towards half-time. And this will be the lift that Hull Kingston needed. It's a patched up Hull Kingston side now with 2 players off injured, both substitutes on. Leeds certainly struggled a lot in the last 15 minutes or so for possession, only had it twice for a set of 6. Catfield converts. So 10 points to 16. Rovers in the lead. And there's nothing they'll like better here at Hull Kingston Rovers today at New Craven Park than to beat mighty Leeds. Tate, that's Fines. Parker, Speckman. So Rovers certainly had plenty of the ball in this last few minutes. Harrison. Wayne Jackson trying to make progress. Running into James Lowes, who must have certainly topped the Leeds tackle count in the first half up to now. It's in there again. Parker. That kick's going to find touch. Finds touch 12 metres from the Leeds line. Good kicking from Parker there. So Leeds heading ball at the scrum. Scrum's 5-3 the Rovers, the penalty's 3-0. That's 5-4 now as Jim Fallon. Fallon pushed back there by the half-backs. Good play from Rovers. Iro. Rovers moving off the spot there before the ball was played. And getting a penalty there, Kevin Iro. And that's a welcome one as far as Leeds are concerned. It was their first penalty of the game. Leeds starting to make progress up that middle of the field. Mercer. A good Rovers tackling there, keeping Mercer. And Ross Smith is telling Ellery Hanley there that Gary Mercer wasn't held. Andy Gregg finds Stephens. Stephens straight in away in Jackson. Tate now puts the kick forward down the field. Chases it himself, and Kevin Iro, Fallon, and that's a good kick into space. 3 Rovers players back, including David Lydiard, the fullback. Oh, a great tackle from Alan Tate. Now Leeds will look to keep Rovers pinned down here. Barcliffe off his wing. Rovers again using this short side with Craig Chris Addison. Chris and his brother Des have been great servants here at Craven Park over a number of years. And Hanley penalised there for not marking squarely. So Rovers certainly had their better of the penalties during this first half. Coming up to half-time now, and Leeds won't want to concede any points between now and half-time. Already the 4 points difference. Thompson, good tackle from Innes. There's Addison, Chris Addison, sorry. Oh, that's a good tackle from Leeds. Was Steve Malloy in there. Paul Anderson, switching play now with Chatfield, running, dodging, weaving, tries to put Hutchison away, but Hutchison slips. Chatfield again, with a kick. That hits the touch, so that's touching goal, and that's a tap on that 20-metre area. Gary Mercer runs himself, makes the 10 metres as James Lowes comes for the ball at acting half, finds Gareth Stephens. Stephens out to Anderson, and that's got to be a high tackle there on Paul Anderson. Andy Thompson, the man adjudged to have perpetrated the offence. So Alan Tate finds touch in Leeds. Second penalty of the afternoon, starting to what feel to do with a try now, just as we approach half-time. Jim Fallon it is who comes in, runs hard there, but straight into the Rovers. Tacklers in the middle of the field. Wayne Jackson, Chamberlain, the hooker. It's better play. Steve Malloy finds James Lowes. Lowes strong enough to bump off the first tackler, but not the second and the third. Well, Leeds now 20 metres out from the line. Andy Gregory goes to acting half. Hanley running across in that style that he's got there. He can't get the ball away. Great play from Hanley there. Twisting, turning, dodging, weaving, but he couldn't get the ball away. Gareth Stephens acting half back, finds Gregory. Iro finds Dixon. Dixon bringing Simon Irving on a gallop. Simon Irving coming in field from that corner. As Leeds pressing strongly. That's got to be 6 more tackles. In fact, that says that's the last tackle that came off a Leeds boot. Gregory. And Barkworth manages to get the ball over the try line. So that'll be playing the ball. Parker, so another Leeds attack coming to nothing, but that was good pressure from Leeds without anything to show from it. Harrison. Rovers 10 minutes, 10 metres from the line, 3 minutes to go. They could hear the other commentator then. The penalty given against Paul Dixon for reefing the ball. So Leeds having Rovers down there, and now a penalty will bring Rovers away from there. So what they're concerned is their danger area. Chatfield finds touch. So that's 30 metres out from their own line. Harrison taking the drive. Was Craig O'Brien who was brought down there. Ball looked suspiciously forward, and referee says that's so. So Leeds then, one last chance in this first half. They'll have head and ball at the scrum. And Dean Clark just wastes a bit of time there by throwing that ball away. Just a couple of minutes left of this first half. Feeds a scrum, that's out to Leeds. Stephens under pressure there at the scrum. Andy Gregory pushing men off. Tate finds Mercer, looks for the return. But Leeds have lost the momentum from the scrum. Steve Malloy. 30 metres from that line now. Andy Gregory in possession. Finds Hanley. Dummies doesn't find Hanley. Goes himself. He's wrapped up there. Stephens. Anderson's on a gallop there. That's good running from Paul Anderson. To the last tackle now, and Hanley will dictate play from acting half. Finds Gregory. Oh, and taken there by Lydiard. And again, Leeds attack coming to nothing. Chamberlain running from acting half. Wayne Jackson. That's a halter there for half-time. Well, that's the second time that Gary Mercer has tackled Wayne Jackson, but Wayne Jackson's falling over almost as soon as Mercer got to him there. He's having his name taken by the referee there, so let's see whether it's the sin bin offence or whether it's the red card for Gary Mercer. That is his second offence. Didn't really look to be anything. And his name taken there. The penalty to Rovers. So they'll go in this first half. Tackle goes, so Rovers will be satisfied to lead 10-6 at half-time. Leeds will be disappointed to let them in for the 2 tries. It says Leeds will open the scoring on 9 minutes with Iro. Irving converting, and then 2 tries from Rovers in 5 minutes. Bibby and Chamberlain, I think it was, converted by Chatfield. The second one, 10 points to 6 then at half-time. So both sides then back on the field. Chatfield ready to kick off for Rovers. Half-time score was Wilkinson Rovers 10, Leeds 6. And both sides making no changes. And I can confirm to you that it was Chamberlain that scored the second Wilkinson Rovers try. And Chatfield spinning that kick down towards Gareth Stephens. And passes him, and Simon Irving it is who'll run it out for Leeds. And Leeds, they're looking for a better performance in this second half. Mercer. Runs strong and hard. There's Gary Mercer, George Fairbairn, the KR coach, just come up onto the gantry. Malloy. Got a bang around the nose in Steve Malloy. That's back for Alan Tate for the kick. Oh, and that's a good kick from Tate there. Beat Lydiard, and Lydiard will try and run away from Innes. In fact, he does that, but not from Simon Irving. Leeds will want to keep Rovers pinned down here now. Rovers made good ground towards the back end of that second half, aided by some penalties. And put Leeds under pressure for long stages of the game. Jackson running across the field and brought down there by Kevin Iro. Harrison. The ball forced in to touch there by the ferocity of Dixon's tackle. So we've got the first scrum of the second half. The scrums in the first half went 5 each, and the penalty 6-2 to Hull KR. So Gareth Stephens in. Feeds Andy Gregory. Iro. In support, that's good play. James Laws will drive the ball in from Gareth Stephens. His player acting half back. Innes now looks to move the ball to his right with Gareth Stephens. Andy Gregory They're running across there. Anderson's put that ball down. And a knock on, says Mr. Smith. So Rovers have hidden ball at the scrum, just about the same place as the previous scrum. Chatfield. Barkworth. Running at Andy Gregory. Craig O'Brien. So Rovers certainly making ground when they run with that ball, the big forwards. Harrison now. Well, 3 tackles gone and Rovers just short of the halfway line. Parker. Lydiard. It's good play, Clark. Clark's dropped the ball. And no Smith's seen that, so there'll be a scrum just on halfway. So 3 scrums in quick succession. It's out to Stephens. Fallon coming in the middle of the field, looking for work. Pressed him through the first 2 tacklers. That's good play. Gregory finds Malloy. Steve Malloy in the Open Rugby Form Team of the Month at number 8. He's had a tremendous season. Jackson just having a little head-to-head there with Andy Gregory. Finds Innes. Forced in a touch, Craig Innes. Tried to leave the ball behind him for Simon Irving. But, touch judge couldn't see that and said he was in touch. Parker. Bibby. Coming in from the wing. Parker again, showing the ball, selling the dummy. He's straight into Ellery Hanley. Harrison. Harrison this time sensibly taking the tackle and not allowing himself to be pulled towards the touchline side. Speckman. Lydiard had to take that ball, and it was good play from Lydiard. O'Brien again. Innes bringing him down. Chatfield, and the kick will come from Speckman. Straight down the throat of Alan Tate. Good as a pass, as they say in Tate. Will run mix. Takes play 30 metres from his own line. Simon Irving. Anderson. A knock on there, and referee didn't spot that one. The Leeds again guilty of a penalty. She'll put them under pressure. Driving that ball, that's good play from Harrison. Slammed to the ground by Gary Mercer. That's number 8, Wayne Jackson. Chatfield, Parker. Looking for runners, finds Craig O'Brien, and Ellery Hanley just waiting there for Parker to decide who he was going to offload to, and then bringing him down. Andy Thompson. Ball gone into touch. So again, another Rovers penalty, and Leeds can't seem to do anything here. To the right of the touch judge, Mr. Will Smith. Well, Leeds under all sorts of pressure now. Alan Tate. Simbin for Alan Tate for having something to say. And there'll be another penalty to Rovers. Phil Parker and Leeds will have a lot of defending to do now. Speckman trying to bring O'Brien through. Rovers trying to use his short side. Andy Thompson, he's lost the ball. And Rovers knocking on, the first knock on, that'll be in. Scumble back to the 10-metre mark. Well, still 6 points to 10 Leeds trail here. 10 minutes gone. And winning that scrum with Kevin Iro. Mercer. Steve Malloy. Well, Leeds 20 metres from their own line. With Paul Anderson now. Anderson almost losing that ball. Good tackling from Parker as Anderson drags play up to the 30-metre mark. Hanley. Great burst there from Melanie Hanley. Couldn't get the ball away, and good tackling there from Chamberlain. Leeds up to the last tackle. And that ball within it. Dixon. Dixon's got in his inside. There must be a try here for Leeds. Dixon's going to score. Yes, that's a try to Paul Dixon. Leeds hitting back when they've got the man down. Leeds running that ball on the sixth tackle. Good work there from Craig Innes. Gary Mercer involved. Just watch that again in the video. Leeds running the ball on the sixth tackle. Craig Innes moving that ball out. Dixon. Try came from a great break down the middle of the field. Good play there from Paul Anderson in the first instance, and then Ellery Hanley took the ball another 20 metres before he was brought down. So Paul Anderson coming off and Mike O'Neill will come on. Don't forget you can keep up all of the action with the club video. Just contact the club shop, Andy Watson. Or Danny Rubin. And get your copy of the club video. Simon Irving kicks that one. Oh, and a tremendous kick there, Leeds. Back in the lead. Restart the game. And just weighing up his options, Chatfield. Gareth Stephens finds Dixon, the try scorer. That's Paul Dixon's 8th try of the season. Mike O'Neill just having his first touch of the ball. Steve Malloy. Oh, and that's good running from Leeds there up to the 40-metre mark. Degarty will go himself, spots the gap. Fallon going down the touchline side there. It's inside for Iro, and Iro's lost that ball. A good play again from Leeds. Leeds have brought that ball right back down this field, and only the last pass there from Fallon to Iro prevented the try. And Barkworth coming in at the scrum. Parker, Andy Thompson. And looking round for the options there, and Andy Thompson, there weren't any options this time. And none either for Craig O'Brien, who looked to offload. And O'Brien's injured there at the play the ball, and the referee, Iro Smith, just taking the ball off him, and will play away there, and play goes on. Physio comes on to attend to Craig O'Brien. Chatfield missed out there. Clark. Lydiard in the line. Iro just bringing him down. It's for Hutchison. That's got to be a forward pass. Ball finishing up in front of Hutchison. Silly ball there to try and get out. So we'll stop play now. So Leeds with head and ball at this scrum, 10 metres in the Old Kingston half of the field. And just wait while Craig O'Brien's attended to. And Leeds have Alan Tate warming up to come back on, and Vince Fawcett warming up. And they've just crossed the winning line at the dog races there. Vince Fawcett coming in by a nose. So Craig O'Brien still feeling the effects over there, and the crowd becoming impatient now. Minutes of this second half gone. Gregory trying to work the move at the scrum there, showing the ball and going himself. Well tackled by Parker. Dixon now on that far side. Just takes the tackle of Wayne Parker. That's good tackling. He's been impressed with Wayne Parker this afternoon. Low, spots the gap, goes himself. Taking Leeds ever more nearer that third try. Taking him towards the try line, Gregory. And crossing there, so Leeds. Steve Malloy and Andy Gregory in a bit of a mix-up. And so that'll be a penalty to Old Kingston Rovers there. 10th of the game. Mike O'Neill tackling Harrison as that ball has moved away from the touchline. Moved back into the middle of the field, Chatfield, Speckman. Maybe brought down, a good tackle there from Innes and Gary Mercer. Chatfield leads defences at 6s and 7s at the moment, are well stretched on this side. Clark. And a forward pass there, denies Rovers. Ball moving forward. Well, he's lucky, stretched there over on this side. And such is the difference, only inches at this game between winning and losing. Could prove very costly at the end of the game. Iro immediately shrugs men off and takes play up to that 20-metre area. Gregory will use Craig Innes. Back he goes himself. And that's a penalty to Leeds. Reefing out there. The Rovers fans alarmed over there, but they can't really complain today. The penalties have gone 10-3 to Rovers. Eleni Hanley finds touch. Alan Tate waits to come back on the field. He must come on the field in a onside position, that's the only stipulation. Mike O'Neill. James Lawes in support, good play from Leeds. And a high tackle there, and Russ Smith seen that one. Andy Thompson, the culprit. Alan Tate's back on. So Leeds now will try and put pressure on Old Kingston and get this try that could seal the victory here this afternoon. Just 12 points to 10 at the moment. Leeds in the lead. Mike O'Neill is going for the line. 5 metres short. Great tackling from Rovers. Leeds now. Hanley dodging, trying to step out of tackles, managing to step out of tackles. Innes, Gregory. And Gregory caught round the neck there as he tried to get the ball away. Tate, Dickin, weaving, going himself. Stepping out of tackles, it leads just a metre short there. Gregory finds Hanley. And Hanley clamped there and we're up to the last tackle, so will Leeds put points on the board. Gregory. Gareth Stephens, that ball's popped up by Stephens. That's the sixth tackle, that'll be the turnover. The Leeds pressure coming to naught there. And Hanley tackling like a terrier now. Rob Hutchison. And Leeds will certainly try and keep Halifax penned down here. And good tackling again from Hanley. Harrison. Push towards touch. Rovers up to that 20-metre line. Chatfield. That's Jackson, and Jackson's rammed down to the floor there by James Laws, who got something in the face there. Speckman. Hutchison coming the wrong way there, I think, as far as Rovers are concerned. Up to the last tackle, Leeds waiting there for the Chatfield dodging, weaving. He's a slippery customer, is Chatfield. Alan Tate touches down. So Leeds will be dropping out there, and that's how to turn defence into attack. Great play from Old Kingston Rovers. 20 minutes gone in the second half. They're just on the hour. So Alan Tate will drop out, and the Leeds defences live dangerously, but that's a good drop out. That's found space. Chatfield for Lydiard. Mike O'Neill brings Lydiard down just 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. Andy Thompson. Innis. Simon Irving trying to take him towards the touchline, and he did well there to cut down on this field. Stop his progress backwards and across. Chatfield again. Craig O'Brien's clamped by Hanley. Chatfield again, switching direction now. Speckman, Thompson. We're up to that last tackle now. That's a great tackle from Andy Gregory. Chatfield again now with the bomb. That's for Alan Tate. And Leeds will again drop out there, so Rovers look to have that ball over the line for a try, but somehow Leeds came up with it with Jim Fallon. A strange decision there, because I would have thought that if the ball wasn't stolen off the player, it would have been a knock-on for Leeds to come up with it, in which case Leeds shouldn't be dropping out, but that's how it goes. And Rovers fans right behind them now as Hutchison comes on the burst. Leeds have an injury there. It's Simon Irving, Harrison. Certainly Rovers piling on the pressure now. How long can the Leeds line hold out? Simon Irving, a groggy looking Simon Irving, back on his feet, injured. Chatfield again, he's the master, he's the architect. Short balls for Clark. So again Chatfield finds Parker. Speckman, it's a kick through. That's for Alan Tate. And Tate just gratefully picking up that ball and running away, not trying any silly passes in front of his own post. Mercer. Mercer shrugging off one high tackle and taking place 25 metres from the line. Malloy now. Intense struggle here at Old Kingston Rovers this afternoon. Fighting to keep the First Division status okay. And Leeds looking to make progress up the table after a poor start to the season. Just clinging on to that 12 points to 10 lead. Gregory puts Gareth Stephens through the gap. He's got Hanley with him. Hanley still going. Stephens again now. He'll have to go himself, Gareth Stephens. He won't have the legs. Up to the last tackle. That's 6 more tackles, so Leeds will settle this down now. Dixon spinning out of tackles now. That was reefed out there. No doubt whatsoever about that. In fact, there was 2 offences there. Dixon injured and the reefing out in the tackle. So Leeds enjoying the best spell of the game now. Head-high tackle, so 2 penalties there for the price of 1. You could have had your pick. Reefing out of the ball or the head-high tackle. So James Laws will tap. And Leeds will attempt to. Simon Irvine is coming off, so that will put Leeds without a recognised goal kicker. Steve Malloy. Malloy going for the line. Not inches short there, Steve Malloy. Leeds with 6 more tackles to play with here. Andy Gregory, Mercer. And again, that's a penalty, reefing out the ball there. Playing as a nose on the end of your face there. What a stupid thing to do. It'll be interesting to see who Leeds elect to kick at goal. Kevin Iro is going to be the one chosen, I think. In fact, it's going to be Andy Gregory. Well, Andy Gregory has kicked goals in the past for Widnes and for Wigan, and probably for Warrington as well. This will be certainly his first in Leeds colours. Leeds just bringing off Simon Irvine. The 28 minutes then of this second half gone. Andy Gregory attempts to put Leeds 14 points to 10 to the good. Slots that comfortably over. And Leeds going further in the lead, 14-10. Will that be enough? The visions of Leeds just hanging on, and then a try and a conversion from the touchline has happened against Featherstone a few years ago. O'Neill. He's run hard and strong since he came on, Mike O'Neill. Dixon now. And Leeds driving out with 4 forward drives there. Gregory now, will he work the oracle? Alan Tate in the line. Tate coming inside, still going Alan Tate. That's good running from Tate. We're up to the last tackle. And Gregory this time kicking over the top there for Lydiard, and Lydiard will come across. And Leeds moving up there. Solid blue wall for David Lydiard. And Craig Innes brings him down as he's done all afternoon. O'Brien almost through Steve Malloy there, but Malloy just hanging on round the legs. Chamberlain. That's good play from Chamberlain. Made 10 metres there before he was brought down. Speckman. 4 tackles gone. Rovers still 10 metres inside their own half, but we've seen how quickly they can turn defence onto attack. Wayne Jackson. Clamp, man and ball. And he gets the ball away. That's good play, and Leeds again caught napping there. And what will Chatfield do here? Fallon comes in and takes a swing at him. For that corner, Vince Fawcett, has he got the legs? It's a while since he played in the first team, Vince Fawcett. He's lost the ball. Well, would you believe that? That's a try to all Kingston Rovers there. First touch of the ball for Vince Fawcett. Dropping the ball under no sort of pressure. And Rovers over in front of the post. Well, this is going to make the last 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes or so of this game interesting. Kick-off down the field. Craig O'Brien runs with purpose now, and the tails will be up at OKR now. Great run there from O'Brien. Wayne Jackson. That move all started from Wayne Jackson's ability to get the ball away in the tackle. Takes the tackle 10 metres from his own line. Simon Irving goes quickly to acting halfback. Goes himself. Gareth Stephens and Leeds. 3 tackles, made only 5 metres there. It's better stuff now with Steve Malloy coming on the burst. Mercer. Gregory. That's a spinning, towering, kicking. Lydiard's underneath it, takes it on the full. Great catch there from Lydiard. Bringing him down there, Kevin Iro. Chamberlain going from action half. Jackson. To halfway, just made the last few yards there on his hands and knees. Andy Thompson. Well, 4 tackles gone, Rovers moving the ball now with Craig O'Brien again. Parker, dodging, weaving. Must be up to the last tackle now, so Leeds will be waiting to get this ball back. Speckman's up and under. Offside. Oh, and Jim Fallon just takes the tap, comes in field, trying to make play up towards the halfway line. Mike O'Neill. 16-14 to Rovers, time running out for Leeds. This will be Leeds' first defeat for some time. And won't put them in good stead for next week's performance against Rochdale in the Cup. But plenty of time to go yet. Gareth Stephens thrown about like a rag doll there by the Rovers substitute, Harrison. Gregory. Mercer. Innes is in space there and still going, Craig Innes. Oh, and just ankle tap there, and that's lucky for Rovers. And Leeds have got a roll on here now with Hanley. Finds Tate. Ball's out to Iro. Iro tries to chip forward. And it's over out on the full. Well, scrum will form. It's about 5 minutes left for playing. Rovers will try and keep this ball for as long as they can. About 5 minutes. Ackworth coming in. He's lost the ball there. In fact, Leeds back in possession with Hanley. Gregory finds Stephens, and Stephens. That's a knock on there. So Leeds then with a last chance to put some points on the board, coming up now with the Gregory finds Innes changing direction, going himself, but he's well wrapped up there. Rovers hanging on in the tackle. Iro, Leeds using that short side, only Iro there, and Iro will use his strength, but he won't make any ground this time as he's well wrapped up there by Rob Hutchison. Steve Malloy. Andy Gregory, can he work the Oracle? Spots the gap, goes himself there, he's got Mike O'Neill, Gareth Stephens. Oh, Stephens is over for a superb solo effort there. Well, what a great try from Gareth Stephens. That's the youngster's first try of the season. But what an important try that could be for Gareth Stephens. Well, I think that's 76 minutes gone. James Laws, I think that's James Laws limping off for Leeds. Chatfield tries a short kick off and Simon Irvine will bring that ball back. Well, Stephens looks for runners and he'll find Paul Dixon, and Dixon will do nothing stupid, just run with that ball. Steve Malloy. So a super effort required from both sides then. McGregory goes himself. Takes play into the Rovers half of the field. James Laws. It's back for Alan Tate. Alan Tate with the kick, spinning over. It's a good kick. The Rovers in possession, just what they want at this time of the game. Lydiard trying to duck under Gary Mercer, but Mercer brings him down. The Rovers will try and make progress up the field. And that's Harrison there. Two Leeds players, Hanley. O'Brien, he's rung hard and strong all afternoon. And again, long ball out, Speckman there. Lydiard. Got for the half break there, and a good tackle from Vince Fawcett. Chatfield. Brought down there. And something happened in back play there. There's some problem there, can't tell what that is. It's a penalty to Wilkinson Rovers. Simon Irvine obstructed. So then, one last chance for Rovers, and Leeds will have to tackle good here. A try will be enough. Harry Chatfield, the Rovers scrum half, or substitute scrum half. Chatfield again there, Mike O'Neill, and that's ball thrown anywhere, and it's that sort of time now. Jackson. A second's ticking away. Rovers have had 2 tackles already. Leeds will have to be careful. Mr. Russell Smith will be looking for the penalties, and that's a long ball out there. Hutchison stepping inside, and he slipped there. Chatfield again, trying to work the Oracle. He's got bags of pace, Chatfield. And Barkworth couldn't take the pass, and the ball just rolls into touch, and Leeds will breathe a sigh of relief. Surely now, 6 drives from the forwards will settle that. Stephens finds Gregory. Gregory just takes the tackle. The scrums, well, they've gone 12-9 to Leeds, and the penalties 11-7 to Rovers. Jim Fallon runs across the field. Fawcett, he'll run down the field and try to take no risks. Hanley hasn't scored today, Larry Hanley. Suppose that'll bother him as long as Leeds get the victory. 4 tackles gone then, and Steve Malloy. So Leeds will look to kick now with Gregory. Kicks on there. Picked up for Rovers by Julian Barkworth. So Rovers back in possession, just 20 metres or so inside their own half of the field. That's a bad pass as Rovers starting to panic now. Time running out. Andy Thompson running at Gareth Stephens. Good tackling from Stephens. Chamberlain. Speckman, and that's a good tackle from Leeds. And Rovers still 10 metres inside the half of the field. Jackson. Ball's out through the windscreen, and Leeds will pick that up now. And Gareth Stephens will run himself. Finds Fawcett. Fawcett just dropping to the floor. And there goes a holder, so Leeds then. Some would say rather fortunately winning this afternoon, and you can see by the look on the Hull Kingston Rovers players' faces, they're all down on the floor. They must be absolutely devastated. A tremendous game. It'd be easy to say it was a game of 2 halves, but it certainly wasn't. It was a game of both halves, if that doesn't sound like a contradiction. Both sides taking the lead at various stages in both halves, and Leeds just coming strongly at the end there to the try from Gareth Stephens. It was Leeds who opened the scoring with a try to Iro on 9 minutes, converted by Irvine. It was 6-0. Then Rovers had a try to Bibby, too far out for the conversion, and Chamberlain had a try 5 minutes later. Chatfield converted. It was 10-6 how it stood at half-time. And Leeds had a 50-minute try to Paul Dixon. Irvine converted. It was 12-10. A penalty to Andy Gregory on 68, made it 14-10. It looked home and dry. But Vince Fawcett dropped the ball in the tackle right in front of the post. Chamberlain picked up, scored it over. Chatfield converted. 16 points to 14. And then Gareth Stephens, the try of his short career, at 18 points to 16. Too far out for Simon Irvine. And Leeds hung on desperately there for the last 5 minutes. And Leeds, the Leeds supporters cheering, but Hull Kingston Rovers must be absolutely devastated. They gave everything in that game, match Leeds stride for stride. At the end was the youngest player on the field, Gareth Stephens, who'll seal a match with a try that he'll remember for a long time. So there we are then, we'll leave you from Craven Park with the news that Leeds have defeated Hull Kingston Rovers